Welcome to Two Gens. Um, Today I think we're going to talk about a couple different things. We're going to talk about the Canada stabbing. We're going to talk about the Queen, and we're going to talk about Lori Lightfoot today. First off, let's talk about Canada and the mass stabbing that they had, which is horrible. I think it's terrible, but our politicians tell us if we don't have guns, mass killings are going to stop. Well, I do believe that this right here is a prime example of that's not going to change anything. If these guys were doing that here in America, guess what would have happened? A good guy with a gun would have stopped them. But the Prime Minister of Canada doesn't want guns in his country. And there's people who want America to be the same way. So we're going to look at a couple little videos here. First off, this is what the Prime Minister thinks about self-defense. Just play a little clip here real quick.
I was recently on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he brought this video to my attention.
And we have a culture where the difference is guns can be used for hunting or for sport shooting in Canada, and there's lots of gun owners, and they're mostly law-respecting and law-abiding, but you can't use a gun for self-protection.
So what do you do? I mean, if somebody's coming to kill you, if it's a female, and a man's about to come and rape and kill her, what does she do? Oh, well, can't use a gun to protect yourself? No, by no means. Right. But now let's think about this. Does this man have armed security? Yes.
In Canada, that's not a right that you have in the Constitution or anywhere else. If you try and buy a gun and say it's for self-protection, no, you don't get that. You get it for hunting. You can get it for sport shooting.
Lord knows we don't need anything to self-protect yourself. No, don't do that. Go hunt, shoot for sport, but don't protect yourself by no means.
Take it to the range, no problem, as long as you go through our rigorous background checks. But there's a difference around the culture. And one of the things that we're seeing with the debate in the States is you get more and more of the American style, right to carry, self-defense arguments filtering up through the,
Because it's a human right to protect yourself. What do you do when in a female's case, the man is bigger, stronger? Well, how do you make that equal? A firearm. But this man doesn't want them to have a firearm. What do you do if there's 9 coming at you? Don't use a firearm. Call the police. That might take 30 minutes to get there. This dude is a peepsqueak. He doesn't live in reality. He lives in a fantasy land.
The usual more right-wing communications channel.
Joe Rogan.
And how's it right-wing to want to protect yourself? I think that is a stupid talking point. Anybody should want to protect yourself. It's not a right-wing talking point. You must be able to protect yourself. You must be able to protect your family. As a man, you should be able to protect your family. That's different. Yeah, one-on-one. Okay, I get that. But what if 2-on-1, 3-on-1? What if you're out and a riot / protest erupts and you and your family are out? This man doesn't want you to protect your family? What do you do? Listen to this real quick.
Joined by our next guest, I want to consider how a real democracy actually handles.
Now, this man says a real democracy. This man wants America to be like Canada. Keep that in mind.
Gun issues and changes to gun laws. Consider what Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had to say about guns in Canada. Listen to this.
2 years ago, our government banned 1,500 models of assault-style weapons, including the Ruger Mini 14 used at Polytechnique and the AR-15. We also expanded background checks to keep firearms out of the wrong hands. We did it because it was what responsible leadership required us to do.
Yes. Take their firearms. Now, listen, remember, Biden says he just wants to take assault-style weapons, right? First off, define that. They can't. But ARs and big scary weapons, this is what they want to take away, right? So let's listen to this.
And now, as we see gun violence continue to rise, it is our duty to keep taking action. So today, we're moving forward. We're introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership.
And this is what they want in America. It starts off with your rifles. Oh, well, that didn't help. Didn't work. Like we said. Oh, let's take your handguns now. They want to disarm you. They want you to be completely compliant. And they want you to completely rely on the government. But wait, isn't the police racist and you can't trust them? But yet, that's the only people who need guns? I don't know about that. So which comes to, there was a mass stabbing in Canada. These two men killed 10 people, injured 18 more. Look at this for a little bit.
At least 10 people were killed and 18 injured after a stabbing rampage in Canada. The mass killing is one of the deadliest in Canada.
Now remember, he took the rifles away, put a ban on handguns, and now the most deadly in Canada's history. Wait, but hold on. I thought if we take these guns away, everything's going to be safe.
Here is what you need to know. The attack began on the 4th of September in an Indigenous community nearly 320 kilometers of the provincial capital, Regina. One of the two suspects was found dead a day after the incident, but the other suspect, his brother, is still on the run.
Now, they're both dead. I think he ended up taking his life or something. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm glad they're both gone. What they did was horrible, horrific, but it could have been ended very quickly. Somebody had a firearm to protect themselves. This is what they want to bring to America, and this is what we must stop from them bringing to America. Anybody who believes that we should take away guns needs to be voted out. Replace them. This is not going to happen. Also, today, the Queen of England passed away. I believe she was 96 years old. She reigned for 70 years. And this was a female. Everybody says, we hate females. I think it's a good thing. She reigned for 70 years. They said she died peacefully on Thursday afternoon at her Scottish estate, where she spent much of her summer time. She became queen in 1952. That is crazy. Let's listen to a little video about her.
When you
Conspiracy theory, though. I thought she was like an alien or something. I didn't think she was going to ever pass away. Like, oh my God. This woman, hey, at her age, I believe she still had more wits about her than Joe Biden, though.
You think that in all these years that the Queen has been on the throne, that in itself is a huge achievement.
The fact that she's done what she's done for so long without complaint, without worry, She's been a very public but a very private person at the same time, and I think that's very important.
What she's led and what she's achieved and what she's created amongst.
Prayers go to her family. It's horrible. Last thing we're going to talk about today is Lori Lightfoot. She's all kinds of upset about, I believe, the governor of Texas is busing immigrants to her area. But they don't want to close the border. She calls him inhumane for doing this. It's inhumane to let the border be open for them to have to travel that way to come across the border and then expect Texas to deal with it. Now, maybe you get to see what it's
including New York, D.C., and now Chicago,
They look happy
hoping
to
to
me.
make a point about the ongoing crisis. Now, Chicago's mayor calls the move racist. So we can maybe talk about.
Of course it's racist. They want to go, so he helps them, but yet it's still racist. This lady calls everything racist, but yet there was a point in time, maybe it still is, I'm not sure, where she wouldn't take an interview with a white person. But that's not racist. I'm tired of everybody using the race card. Stop. You're trying to divide the country by using race. Stop.
This, and we'll get to the mayor of Chicago in a moment. But first, I want to start, David, on the broader issue of illegal immigration and those 9 deaths. We sort of breeze past that in our national conversation about these issues. There are people risking their lives and dying to come into this country illegally because they are incentivized to do so by this administration. And I know sometimes people, I'm not like a hardcore border hawk, or at least I haven't been in the past. They're radicalizing me on this because it's a matter of life and death. It's a matter of national sovereignty. You have this administration basically telling people with their mouths, don't come, but with their policies and actions, please come. And this is the result. I am sick of.
Exactly. That's what they're saying. Oh, please don't come. But yet, hey, let's have open borders. Everybody got mad at Trump for shutting the borders down. But guess what? It was safer for people. That way, not as many people died. But yet, Democrats want to say, oh, open border until they come to their cities, or they come to their states. Then they don't like it. Well, guess what? You're going to have to deal with it. You made your bed. Sleep. I'm going to go and end it for the day. Thank you.